welcome, SOLARMAN. I appreciate you coming. Thank you for taking time out. I'm looking forward to this interview and conversation that we're about to have.
Right on, right on, right on. I appreciate you paying that 1,500. You the first platform to pay that 1,500, so I appreciate you doing that. It's not about the money, it's about the information. But I appreciate you having me, nevertheless.
Yeah, it wasn't about the money to me. It was the conversation that I want to have to you. I've been having a time viewing your videos and listening to you, and it was worth paying a fee just so we can have this conversation. I wanted to interview you. I want to get into your head a little bit more, if you didn't mind.
Uh, right on, right on. We can definitely, I'm from Texas, so doing this Texas platform is a dream come true. And being that you a woman, I ain't gonna take you trying to get into my head as nothing homosexual. So I'm gonna just keep going along with the conversation. But yeah, we can pop open that top and see what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. When I said I wanted to get in your head, SOLARMAN, I mean in regards to like again the topics you've been talking about. It intrigued me. It got me thinking, and I have the same type of mindset that you have on some subjects. So again, I want to expand on that, and thankfully you were in Texas so that I could link up with you. Again, thank you for coming. I'm hoping that $1,500 pays off in this conversation because I'm ready to get with it. So.
Right on, no refunds. Right on.
there
Right
it
on.
is. There it is already. So my first thought is I'm actually from an older generation. Don't get me wrong. I respect the millennials and everything, but I appreciate your mindset and the things you were saying. So I want to talk to you about regards where our country is headed right now. Your thought process on that. Your thought process on the black community and their role, which is being played out right here and now. I want your thought process on that. I want to hit that. I want to hit what you think about your time spent. I know you have talked about 607 UNC and your time spent at the house and things of that nature, but I want your thought on how it is that y'all went from talking about, gang bang and making money in regards to, this process here to what's going on here and now, state of our country. So you were talking about the demons and it just, yeah, man, it opened my mind. So I just want you to expand on all of these things if you don't mind.
Right on. So one question at a time. What you want to talk about first?
First, since we transitioned from 607 UNC and the house that you went to and all the experiences you got to where you are now, lead me into you dealing with him and how I feel, to me, this is my personal opinion, that they kind of switching up on how they're presenting themselves now since you've been there. So I want to know, do you think you had a effect on these people?
That's a good question. So as far as like the topics and stuff like that 607 Unc be talking about, I don't know how long you've been watching this platform, but I've been watching this platform for years, like at least probably 2 years before I hit them up.
No, I don't watch that shit, sir. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, well, from the clips that you might have seen from me or whatever the case may have been, I personally been watching dude for, like I said, probably about 2 years before I hit him up. And in all transparency, all his content that I saw, all the funny stuff and all that you might see from dude, is not what he used to talk about like on his lives. So for example, like me, I go live on my channel basically like every day, every other day. People know me they're getting to know me for that. I'm consistent with that. So like for example, his videos would be, they could be on some gang banging type topics or, just culture stuff, like whatever's going on in the rap, hip hop or whatever like that. That's what his main content would be about. Or he'll have like some rappers on and he'll talk to some people from Chicago or something like that. So that's primarily what his content is usually about, and that's even to this day. But now you see like he'll still be talking to these Chicago rappers and gangbangers and all these different people there, but he'll mix in with the spiritual stuff, and he'll kind of like he'll kind of like top it off with like something that's kind of like a substance. But anyways, to answer your question, since I done left, I can definitely tell that he's starting to talk about some topics that I didn't normally see him talking about until I got there. Me and his numbers with me on some videos have like kind of like some low numbers compared to his other stuff. But like as far as like the comments and the like, you ever heard of this thing called clipping? Like how people would take like a short of a video or a part of your video and like they'll put it up on like TikTok or something like that. Yeah. My videos get clipped like the most out of the like unknown people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, you monetize on your channel? You smoking? Oh, they can't see you. It don't even matter. I ain't monetized yet, so like in like YouTube, you can't smoke for like the first 10 minutes. But anyways, yeah. So my videos are the most clipped as far as the people that don't have a big name and stuff like that. So to answer your question though, yeah, I definitely had an effect on dude, just like he had an effect on me, and I'm glad I did though. I think I was sent there for that reason and many other different reasons.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, we're talking about. I apologize. I'm gonna stick to this for a hot second. We're going into the. I may have to pay another $1,500 to keep this going because I'm already had some questions rolling in my head while you were talking.
You got my time. You are good. It's all good. Whatever you want to know.
So back to again, we were talking about the 607 thing. Like I said, I don't listen to that shit. I didn't watch it. He irritates my soul. But I see he has a big following and people that actually listen to him. But I'm wondering, with you bringing in the light that you have brought in, because again, we need to talk about more than just that. Like again, he's bringing in the Chicago gangbangers and things of that nature, and I can see where they have a platform, but what are they talking about past the bullshit that they've been doing? What are they talking about moving forward? Does any of that go on this show? Do you think did you talk to any of them in regards to that? Like, what y'all doing, man?
That's a good question. And I see where you're going with the question. They would ask, like when you ask a type of question like that, like I'm gonna answer with the end, and I'm gonna tell you how I talk to them. So when you ask them a question like that, they'll look at you like you goofy. They'll be like, "What the fuck you talking about?" You know.
Yeah. So what's that about? I don't understand.
So what it's about is that I damn near forgot your question. I'm trying to think.
My question was, sir, do you think? Put it this way. Do you think you made any type of headway with talking to these gangbangers while you were around them? You think that you bringing your light into their presence made them start looking past? Let's stop, just talking about our neighborhood or who gonna kill who did what, who charges. Like, can we get past that mindset and pay attention to what's going on around us outside of our neighborhoods?
Okay, I get what you're saying. So yeah. To answer that, did I bring a light? For shit show, I brought a light. But it depends on like, if they see me now, they gonna see like. So it depends on who you asking. You know what I mean? And I can't really speak for them because I ain't get a relationship with everybody, but the ones that I was around and shit like that, they definitely, if they was around me long enough, they definitely seen that it was more than meets the eye. And I think that was the main thing. So like initially speaking, I think hell nah. At first I ain't have an impact other than motherfuckers thinking like I'm like a college kid or just some good boy that paid him. Because if you did watch some of his interviews or if you watch any of my interviews with 607 when I was with some Chicago people, like for example, I did this interview with 607 it wasn't an interview, it was a show. I did a show with 607 King Yella, the Bob Report, and on that show, I was sitting right next to King Yella, and I had mentioned something about the 12 tribes to Unc, And Unc was like, hell nah, we vibrate low on this show. So okay, cool. He didn't want to talk about that. She wanted to talk about some bullshit, whatever type of hip hop fuck shit was going on. And then I had mentioned something to King Yella. I was like, why do you? I don't know what the fuck I said. I said something about like y'all don't look at what y'all do as destructive or some shit like that. So anyways, you get looked at like a goofy is my point. You get looked at like what they call a goofy for not being with the bullshit, for not being with the fuck shit. Where I bought my light in is that I'm completely aware of the fuck shit and the bullshit. I just choose not to give a fuck about what they got going on. One, because I'm not from where they from, so I don't give a fuck what they got going on. And then two, because of the way I look and the way I grew up, I kind of like, I never fit in nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I never fit in with the white crowd, and I never fit in with the black crowd, even though I was raised around both. So it's like I completely understand the white crowd, and I completely understand the black crowd. That's where I got the one up on niggas and white people, because I'm able to go in their world, nigga world, and I'm also able to go in a white world and understand it both. I understand exactly how both of them think. I just think my own way. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't always received, you know what I mean, by the Chicago crowd. I did an interview with KB Nene. All they tried to do was troll me and shit for how I look. So, then I went around people like Beastie the Shooter, a real known dude from Chicago, and you know, and he completely fuck with me and fuck with my vibe and stuff like that, and we garnered a relationship. So I think it just depends on the person, but Chicago as a whole, I think, just because the light has been shined so much on destruction, you know what I'm saying? On destruction, yeah. That's what they focus on. So that's all they know. And they built their platforms off of destruction. You know what I'm saying? They didn't build their platforms off of being enlightened or being different. They built their platforms on who the most savage, on throwing up. I ain't gonna throw up their gang signs, but you know what I'm saying? Throwing up negativity. That's what they built their platforms on. So any type of square dude like myself, and I say square just because that's how they use language and shit. I don't give a fuck about. Just look, I'm answering your question, but just to pivot out them words real quick. So square, green, and all that shit. We use these words in our community, and we get these words from gangsters for real, Italian mob gangsters and shit. And that's where a lot of black community get their gangster shit from, this Italian mob bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I use these words interchangeably just so niggas understand what the fuck I'm saying. But square and green, wearing a mask. You know what I mean? What grown man will wear a mask? A grown man that don't take being tough serious. You know what I'm saying? A grown man that don't want to be like you niggas. A grown man that can enjoy himself and is comfortable in his skin and don't want to look like, act like, think like, dress like, move like, have the same woman like, have the same money. I don't want nothing that you niggas got. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing that niggas got. These type of niggas. So, yeah, my light rubbed off because I'm so comfortable being in my skin that it makes people that usually would bully niggas like me or think that they would bully niggas like me uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? And then when you stand on being yourself, either you gonna accept it or you just gonna talk about me behind my back. You know what I'm saying? Or laugh or whatever you gonna do. But the reception that I got though from people that I was around, generally speaking, was behind cameras, everybody respect me. Don't nobody disrespect me behind cameras. The only time that I got laughed at, not even laughed at, but mocked, was on camera, and it was by some motherfuckers that didn't even know me, like the KB Nene interview. You might have saw that. Yeah, you saw that for sure. So with the KB Nene, they didn't know me at all. They wasn't in the content house at all. They just know me from the first interview that they saw. And with that, they built goes back to the negativity shit. They built their platform off of negativity. You know what I'm saying? They didn't build their platform off of anything of substance, anything that's going to benefit people. You know what I'm saying? She built her platform off of getting trolled and rumors and some bullshit. Capo Risky built his platform and off of negativity and, you know what I'm saying, and off of fuck shit, off of spreading rumors about people like KB Nene. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't know that about them. But I think Chicago has a good I think they got the light, but the reason they got the light is because they so condensed and they got such a demonic spirit hovering over the south side of Chicago and over these gang territories, not even just the south side. They got such a demonic spirit hovering over them that because they got the light early and they changed the whole world with this drill shit, that they kind of stuck in character. Everybody want to be tough. Everybody want to be the biggest savage. Everybody want to be the biggest gangster. When I'm saying a nigga like me, literally a nigga like me, I can be a nigga. I am a nigga. You know what I'm saying? A nigga like me come around and I'm saying, I don't give a fuck about how tough you are, nigga. I don't give a fuck about your gang, nigga. I don't give a fuck about what you throw up, nigga. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit because I'm not from that shit. And I got the light too. And I'm not scared of none of you niggas. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, my light rubbed off for sure. Cause now I'm seeing niggas trying to talk about shit that's going on in their communities, and you know, that's cool to see. That's cool to see, for sure.
Yeah, all right. I'm definitely gonna have to come out some more money, bro, because we got into some things that as you're answering my questions, you bring up more questions for me. So we're talking about Chicago. And I happen to be talking to some of my coworkers in regards to, and when I say my coworkers, I mean specifically my black coworkers, talking about some things. But I was specifically talking about the diaspora wars and how it's starting to come to a
Diaspora, what that mean? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. When I'm talking about diaspora wars, I'm talking about the Africans and the Black Americans and the Jamaicans and the Haitians and the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans and the I know Black Dominicans and the. So I'm like, with the diaspora wars, it's coming to a point where I think is we're giving a conversation to where we're breaking barriers in regards to that. We're coming together. Africa's getting this stuff together, but in that conversation, I thought about how Black Americans, Africa, they're broken up into different tribes. So they don't see how we as Black Americans say we all black. Whereas they say, I'm Nigerian, Igbo, I'm Cameroon, I'm, Kenyan, they are broken up into their different areas and tribals. Whereas I think foundational Black Americans, FBAs, we black, period. And to everybody else out there, if you like us, you black. There is no I'm this tribe, I'm that tribe, we all black. But then I thought about it too, and I want your thought process on this. Let me throw it at you. Do we not have tribes within America of FBAs have our own tribes? And when I say that, we got the northern, we got the southern blacks, we got the northern blacks, you got Philly, you got Baltimore, you got Chicago. Everybody's got their own accents, their own moves, their own. Louisiana, southern blacks. You got Louisiana, you got the Texas black, you got the Mississippi blacks. We all got our own lingo. Louisiana, they got the Mardi Gras, they got the Zulu parade, they got, Madame, the voodoo, all those different things. Baltimore, so you got all these different black people in different states, different cities, different northern and southern, eastern and western. Do you agree with that mindset?
What, that black people have tribes?
We're tribal within America as well. Not so much as, like again, but our area, we're tribal. We all stick together in this thought process. Texas blacks are Texas blacks, but then even in Texas blacks, you got the Houston, you got the Dallas, you got the, you know what I mean? You got the San Antonio. Everybody's again got their own accent into tribes here within our own America.
All right. So to answer that question, do I think that we broken into tribes here in America? I don't think anything. I know that we are a mixture of a bunch of different tribes in America. And so even if we in Philly, even if we in DC, even if we in Texas, even wherever we at, we still, like, some of us might be from, when I'm saying tribes, I'm going back to the 12 tribes of Israel. That's the tribes I'm relating to.
Okay.
So, even if we in DC, like I said, Dallas, wherever the case may be, yeah, we might be from there, but that don't mean that we from there. You know what I mean? Like that's why every time where you go somewhere, just because we might act a certain way in that city, but everybody don't act the same way in that hood or in that city or whatever the case may be, because we're compromised of a bunch of different tribes. We're not from the same tribe. But going back to that African and that diaspora stuff, the modern day, what you call them FBAs, I've been seeing that term too. Boy, we got a lot of terms for black people.
Yeah, we do.
But I've been seeing that term. So FBAs, going back to that, this is what we don't know. What we don't know is that there was a war, there was a Holocaust here before there was ever a Jewish Holocaust, and from those Europeans, those European converts, the ones that claim to be from the 12 tribes that are in the homeland right now, and they claim that that's their homeland, but even though it was given to them.
I've been hearing you talk about that.
Yeah. Because I'm dead serious about it. But yeah, that's our homeland, by the way. But anyways, before we get to that, yeah, we're compromised of tribes, definitely. I see what you're getting at. But our tribes are more like are more ancient. And you can't even relate it back to Native American tribes, because Native American tribes, like the names of the tribes, like Choctaw and Cherokee and stuff like that, I might be misquoting a little bit, but the premise of what I'm saying is true. That those tribes were American made. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't the original name of what those people called themselves.
Yeah.
So after the Civil War, and before the Civil War, there was still kind of like that. Before the Civil War, it was kind of like when the Black Holocaust on this continent happened, because you do know, and I say this a lot in my videos too, but it's true for some new viewers that's gonna be seeing it. The most pyramids in the world are located in the Americas, South and North. I don't know if you knew that. So that just leads us to believe that we've been here a long time. Yeah, we mixed up all over the place. So even though we in Philly, we in St. Louis, we in DC, we in Boston, Cincinnati, Detroit, Dallas, Houston, all these places where niggas are at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we niggas of Dallas and Boston, but we also niggas of the tribe of Levi, of the tribe of Judah, of the tribe of etc. You know what I mean?
Nigga.
Yeah. Nega, negus. I mean, all these words, because that's what the white boy would do. The white boy would take your word and take what you got and then use it against you as if he came up with some shit. But these people are uncreative, uninventive. They don't have any ideas. They don't have any information. They never invented anything.
Agreed.
They never created anything. They haven't contributed anything to society. Some would argue against that. I'm pretty sure there are some examples of some white inventors and stuff like that. I'll grant that to them. But for the most part, by and large, they have only been the most destructive race on this planet. But also, my people are in a fallen state too. So I'm kind of like bouncing around that question a little bit. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, we compromise of a bunch of different tribes, but not the tribes that we think of. It's really relating back to the 12 tribes of Israel, and then through that, we have different native tribes that we also had as well, because we've been in this land for a long time. But the native tribes that we know, that we would have been raised up, it had not the first Holocaust happened on this land, that the Trail of Tears and shit like that was kind of like our people and shit like that. That was like what they named it. Yeah. But like we're compromised of a bunch of different tribes, not just different group types of niggas. But that's why there's different types of niggas though, because they're from different tribes. You know what I mean? But also that's why you can go, for me, for example, I didn't kind of like, if you didn't follow my story a little bit, I done been all over this country. I done been to a few places in the world, and particularly with my people, black people, and being all over this country, I've noticed that no matter, and that might just be an American thing, but from my discernment, what I've noticed is that I'll go to a different state and I'll be talking to the same nigga that I just left in another state, but a different version. Like, they got the same thoughts, they dress the same, they act the same, they damn near look the same. Some of these people have the same faces and shit, not related though. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that phenomenon, But there's a reason to that, is because we all come from these specific tribes, and all these specific tribes have specific groups of people. Like, for example, the Levites were the priests of the 12 tribes. They held the ceremonies. They were the judges and shit like that there. And then you had like the tribe of Benjamin. Don't quote me on this, but they were like, they might have been fishers or whatever the case may have been. Carpenters. That was their position. So everybody had their role. Everybody had their position. That's why some people are more inclined to do this. Other people are more inclined to do that. But anyways, wherever you go, you're going to meet different types of niggas, but they the same though, kind of, wherever you go. That makes sense?
Yeah. Appreciate you answering that question for me.
Right on.
But since we've segued into that, I can go ahead and segue into the next statement in regards to how this country is going, and how do you see us as our people are relating to this?
I don't think our people are doing good at all. This is what I think about our people. I think that we think as a conglomerate, but I think we think as a conglomerate in the wrong direction. What do I mean by that? Like, there's a perception that no matter what we go through, we're still able to find joy and peace and be happy and shit and just turn up and shit in the midst of chaos and shit like that there. There's like that theory going on about us. I believe that, yeah, we can do that, but I believe that the reason we do that is because, we have a culture, or we come from a celebratory type of nature, but also I feel like that's our response to trauma. Our response to trauma is to keep doing what the fuck we've been doing and to like ignore some shit, ignore the world around us and keep doing whatever the fuck we've been doing because we don't have to deal with it. Because I'll go back to when we were more systematically and institutionally impressed, in the earlier 20th century. We still threw our own functions, our own galas, our own parties and stuff like that. Even though we were actively being hunted, by the Klan, by the new slave patrol, which is the police departments and shit like that. Laws and rules were made to completely go against us to make it not even a fair fight. So when we celebrated, we celebrated, but we celebrated a lot of times kind of like out of just needing to release, needing to do something. And so I think that's where we at. I think we're at a place of numbness in my culture, in my community. We at a place of numbness. That's why we don't give a fuck about nothing. That's why we just keep doing the same stupid shit, going to YB concert. Not to say that NBA Youngboy couldn't have a concert, but he's actively stated himself that he's demonic. And motherfuckers keep going to these demonic ass shows. And it's just like, I don't understand it. I think we celebrate and we tolerate bullshit. I think we got a lot of bullshit going on. All right.
Thank you for that answer. I agree with you on a lot of the things that you just stated. I do question, though, how do we get from this point and move forward?
Pain. People, I used to think that only white people needed to experience pain, really, because I was mad at them. And I just wanted them to bleed like my people done bled. I just wanted them to cry like my people done had to cry. I just wanted them to be afraid like my people done had to grow up in some fear, generally speaking. But now I'm starting to realize the more and more that I do my own self-internal work, and the more and more that I speak out against evil, and the more and more that I involve myself into this matrix that we do live in this simulation that we're all a part of, the more and more I'm starting to realize that there's a reason that we're in the position that we are. One, because of lies and manipulation also, but then I gotta think about like, well, how do we contribute to this? And I believe we contributed to it by our own self-indulgence, by our own ignorance. And I don't think this generation, and I mean not just my generation, I mean I'm not sure how old you are, but your generation probably included, I don't believe that we've experienced any type of pain to make us want to change our current position. We kind of had like a little hiccup when the Black Lives Matter thing kicked off, but as you can see, all they got to do is wave some money in our face or give us a couple holidays, put some stupid shit on a football field, hold some hands and shit walking out on, you know, these gladiator games and football and NBA and shit, and then we'll stop doing some shit, you know? Pain. Pain is the only way that humans naturally evolve, and then humans naturally change. I wish it didn't have to be that way. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, so there may be another different way, but from my experience and from what I can see, now that I'm putting myself in this spiritual front lines, pain is the only way that people are going to change or move forward. I'm talking about specifically my people, because we're too numb right now. We're too comfortable with fuck shit. Like I said, it's cool. Like, I'm seeing everybody. It's cool to be in the threads complaining about white people. I get that. They is an enemy for sure. You know, generally speaking, there's some good ones for sure, but generally speaking, it is. It's cool to do that. It's cool to bitch about that. It's cool to bitch about Trump. It's cool to talk about how hip hop ain't the same no more. It's cool to bitch, but ain't nobody doing nothing but bitching. So, there are people that's putting their money where their mouth is though, but that shit don't get highlighted for real in my community. As far as black banks and black Wall Street that's getting built, and people that are owning their own communities, and farmers and black farmers that are millionaires, black entrepreneurs, and primarily the reason that shit don't get highlighted is because black people, we say we want to see shit equal and we want to see black success, and there is a population of my people that do, but for the most part, niggas don't want to see no other nigga win, and again, that's because of pain, and that's because of competing. We compete with each other too much. Even this now, like, I'm hearing myself talking, I'm like, damn, you bitching. But I'm just talking about my people and shit that I be seeing. I'm just talking about my people. Hold on. Right, so, yeah, sorry about that hiccup. You know, don't dock my pay. But that's what I think though. I think that we love a bitch as people. And I think we love to say who invited to the cookout, who not invited to the cookout. Fuck a cookout, period. You know what I'm saying? Fuck a barbecue, period, right now. Let's go ahead and just rebuild the temple and rebuild the community. If we're going to think about some shit collectively as a whole, fuck a cookout. And I ain't invite nobody to no cookout. I don't know who the fuck giving out these passes, but I ain't giving them out. And I think if you motherfuckers show up with people that y'all say invited to the cookout, I think y'all niggas should be shot just with them too. You know? Fuck a cookout. I'm kind of like, the way I'm feeling about shit right now, I'm kind of like, I don't have high hopes for my people. I want the best for my people. But the more and more I sit back and I watch my people, the more and more I get disappointed as far as the popular version of my culture. I hate it. I hate this shit. I kind of hate hip-hop. I'm not going to lie. I kind of hate this shit, even though I make music and I rap myself. So you might be saying, damn, you must hate yourself. I hate not taking accountability. So you can be it. There's nothing wrong with being a nigga, but not taking accountability and expecting some shit to change or wanting some shit to change or not even giving a fuck about shit changing, I think it's kind of like the worst parts of my culture, and I see that a lot. Like I said, what's trending right now in my culture, because nobody in the music industry is making money right now. All they doing is talking about YB concerts and shit. You know, in the green tones, and everybody, like, you seeing when they be in them concerts and shit, it's like they get possessed. I mean, every artist and whatever, you get possessed by the music. So it's like, it's leading you good or bad. And YB himself, he says that he's very demonic. He says that himself. He says the music industry is very demonic. And then when you see people, it's like they under a trance when they go to his concerts and shit. I don't want that for my listeners. You know, I want you to get possessed, but you're gonna be possessed by the highest version of yourself. It's not gonna be by some fuck shit. You know. So yeah, fuck a YB concert. Fuck a trend. Fuck a cookout. Fuck a barbecue. Fuck turning up while the world burning. Fuck all that shit, man. Because while we turning up while the world burning, we not thinking about our future generations and shit. We not building shit for them. Where the fuck they gonna live at? Where the fuck they gonna grow up at? Motherfuckers be selfish. That's what I think about my culture. Motherfuckers fucking selfish, and I hate that shit. I hate a lot of shit in my culture. I ain't gonna lie. As much shit as I give that Anglo-Saxon white boy and Caucasian white boy, I feel almost as equally strongly towards aspects of my culture. Like, I hate that shit with a passion, because it's evil.
So you keep going and you keep fighting against the evil.
That's what I have to do, because I decided to come back to this planet even though as much as I say I didn't want to come back here and all that shit, that's kind of like my lowest form of myself speaking, because I had to make an agreement to come back here. I had to make an agreement to come back here, otherwise I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing now. So I came back to this planet for this specific time to do exactly what I'm doing now, and it's kind of like I have to keep fighting because there's no other way. I'm sorry, my mic. You know, this 1500 I'm about to go use to go get another mic. So, but anyways, I have to keep going because there's nothing else in this world for me to do. There's nothing else that matters to me. Even like I think, even like getting a job and like doing some normal shit in this country right now, I think it's kind of like redundant because what system are you operating under? You know, like I think everything needs to stop, and I know that's kind of like that's kind of it doesn't make sense to some people, but society don't make sense. So we need to do some shit that don't make sense.
Okay. Okay. I hear what you're saying. When it comes to the ice raids, things of that nature, all the things that Trump is doing, his cabinet, the Project 2025, this is what we as a people need to start doing. It's focusing on communities, focusing on getting ourselves together and things of that nature.
Exactly. That's exactly what the fuck we better do. It's not even what we need to do. It's what the fuck we better do. Otherwise, you will be in a position to where you will become. We've never really elevated past the slave class, but kind of what happened on paper, at least, was that the playing field was at least civil. You know what I'm saying? It was at least morally ethical on paper. What this current administration is doing is removing any type of legislation and paperwork that was done and bled for by my people, my older generations, you know, that got spit on, you know, shot at, house burned, you know, just domestic terrorism shit. All legislation that was and has been on paper is kind of like getting turned around out of the guise of going against discriminatory policies or racism and shit like that there. So what these current administration is just a bunch of normal white people. Whenever you start to make traction, in, like I've just mentioned earlier in the interview, whenever you start to make traction in any form to where you are competing with them at eye level, they'll change the situation. I mean, I'm not the first person to say this at all. All the greats, I'm not calling myself a great, but I'm saying all the greats that I've spoken, they say this shit. You know, whenever you start to get some headway, they change the rules. So these people are cowards. I kind of hate them. I don't kind of hate them. I hate the evil in them. I hate them. And you might be like, damn, bro, that don't sound godly. Well, you need to go learn who God is. And then you might understand where I'm coming from. My God hates shit. He hates evil. He hates it so much that he destroys it. You know what I'm saying? So I aim and I look to destroy it. Not to say that I'm planning on bringing violence to white people or black people, but I'm not against protecting yourself, and I'm also not against saying fuck everybody and everything, because everybody and everything is corrupted and compromised, and it's openly demonic, and I can't stand society. I can't stand these people. And with the Trump cabinet and the Project 2025, in all transparency, ma'am, I did not read that shit. But what I know and what I already knew is I know how white people get down. So everything as far as what they're doing and what they're aiming to do and what they're actively doing, you know, we're taking away all the voter rights legislation that was, again, made to make this shit civil, because those people have never been civil since the foundation of this country. They have never ever been civil. They've never been human beings with us. They've never even been human beings with each other. Before they were actively domestically terrorizing us, they were terrorizing themselves. That's why they had to ship out different parts of themselves to, you know, Australia and to America and shit like that. They can never coexist. They can't coexist anywhere they go. So I hate this world, and not the world that my creator created. No, I hate the people in it. I'm not a populationist. I don't think that, you know, we need to control the numbers and shit. Like, I just think that the resurrection of Christ is gonna be a rapture of thought and a change of your mindset from what the fuck it was to what the fuck it's gonna be, which is you better open your eyes up, nigga. And I'm talking to the whole world. You better open your eyes up, nigga, and realize that neither Republican nor Democrat have your best interest. So yeah, fuck Trump, fuck his cabinet, fuck Project 2025, fuck Steve Bannon, fuck him so much, in fact, that I think the only patriotic thing to do with this current administration is what those people in January 6th did.
All right. Okay. I appreciate that answer, SOLARMAN.
Right on.
Yeah. I myself kind of think somewhat the same in regards to like the January 6ers, and I don't agree with their stance, but I do agree with they thought America was turned against its people, and they took a stand.
Right.
They didn't sit by and talk on the internet or wear a costume and go march down the street.
Right. Some gay shit.
Get nothing accomplished.
Right. Let me talk about that real quick. So we all been seeing these No King protests and shit like that, right? First and foremost, anytime you name a protest, I think that shit is already weak. Just like that Million Man March shit that we did in the 90s, I think that shit was weak. All that shit weak. I think anytime you march and you holding hands and you walking and shit, not to say that progress hasn't been made. Again, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. I'm just saying how I'm looking at it. I'm more of a January 6th type of protester. If I'm gonna do it, I'm a January 6th. I'm going to go make sure it's changed. I'm not gonna ask anything. Change has never came with asking. Historically speaking, change has never came from asking. You can look at any empire, and no empire has changed from the people just asking for it to change. Even though this is supposed to be a democratic democracy, democratic republic, really. But it's supposed to be it's supposed to be for the people, by the people. Changes never came that way. Fuck marching. Fuck talking. Go do something. Yeah, I don't agree with the rhetoric of the January 6ers either, because those people are they're white nationalists primarily, and they're conspiracy, and a lot of those people are schizophrenic as well. They have mental health issues. We can talk about schizophrenia and the benefits of it and stuff like that, but for the most part, no, I fuck a march. Fuck holding hands and asking and singing. Fuck dressing up in costumes. Like, that had to be some white people that thought of that shit. But also, in that same breath, like I said, white people also thought about January 6th, and again, they wanted the country to change. They thought the government was outwardly going against their best interests, so they went to go do something about it. I'm with that. That's the only way shit changes, by violence. Sounds very radical, but the world is radical, and change, this democracy, this democratic republic that we live in, only came about through radical change. It did not we did not leave the British monarchy by asking. We had to fight. So supposedly it's supposed to be a free and fair democracy, but when you have a president that's actively sitting in the office talking about they're going to be on the 2028 ballot, how the fuck is that possible when you've already had 2 terms? So nothing is normal, nothing is the same. Fuck marching.
I hear you. I do have some thoughts on that, but we can talk about that off camera. I don't want to go towards that right here. But I do agree that we what do we need to do? Because I know the 92%, which I'm a part of black women, have been boycotting quite a few businesses and have started segueing into supporting more of our own, more than we were before. Like we already were, but even more now. Certain products. I appreciate you going on your page and talking about Project 2025. You admit you didn't read it. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and my people are from Jim Crow South era. So that marching, I apologize, does work for them at that time. What, from that point in that particular era to now, what do we need to do as us, the community? I ain't talking about the rest of the U.S., because it's us versus them to me.
Right, and I agree. So I'm gonna answer the last part first before I get to the marching part. So as far as what we need to do, again, you just mentioned that you part of the 90, what you say, 95%, 92, 92% that voted for Kamala.
Voted for something other than this shit.
Yeah, that voted for something other than the current regime. So collectively speaking, and I addressed that also when I did a video on the Project 2025 shit. So I have no problem, just real quick, I have no problem admitting my ignorance. You know, I did not read that shit because I don't care. Primarily speaking about politics on the national scale. Because I don't believe that is fair, and I don't believe that we've ever had one real president. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm not a savant in the topic, but I know that if every president has been related in some shape, way, form, or fashion, even going back to Columbus, then my vote has never mattered. It's just the way I look at it. So as far as what we can do collectively as a people, I believe we've already done it. As far as the nice way, the nice way was voting for something else. And again, I do not believe that Kamala was the right answer. That's why I did not exercise my vote for fucking Kamala nor Trump, because I did not believe, and I do not believe that neither party nor representative represented my best interest. So I voted for my best interest, and you know, I'm aware of the nuances of that and how votes get cast to the side. As far as really the only there's not a Green Party that's gonna win. There's not a Libertarian Party that's gonna win. There's not a Tea Partyist that's gonna win. It's only gonna be Democratic or Republican. I'm aware of that. However, it shouldn't be so because we do have other options. And my mission before I leave this planet is to, at least for this country and for just us as people, is to make us aware of our options. We never, ever, ever don't have a choice. And that's where I think we got it all fucked up at, is that we just been sitting back acting like we don't have a choice with the shit. We always got a choice, even if the choice is death. You always have a choice. I'll just mention this brief example before I go back to the march and shit. There were some slaves, because there were some slaves that came over on transatlantic slave trade. That is an actual thing that happened. But even though black people were definitely already here for sure, that's 100% a fact. But there was also transatlantic people who I believe, don't quote me, but it was either in South America or it was on the west coast of Africa that they were coming. Anyways, they took over the ship and they chose to drown themselves. Amistad. Okay. They took over the ship and they chose to drown themselves. You know what I'm saying? They had a choice. They could have kept going with the shit, or they can choose death. You know, they're way more powerful, and way more stronger, and way more braver, and way more stronger than me. I know that, but all I'm saying is that there's always a choice. So with the, and that kind of go back to the.
I apologize. It wasn't Amistad. It was the
I was thinking that too.
Igbo landing.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. That makes more sense.
The Igbo landing.
So that kind of go back to what Kanye West said. Even though he said it kind of like abrasively when he said slavery was a choice. I get what he's saying. I don't agree fully that the ones that were slaves, that grew up in slavery and shit, I don't agree. It is a choice. So here, it is a choice. But I don't agree that those people were weak because they kept on being slaves. They didn't know nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Now that we are aware, though, we are complacent if we don't march like January 6th and go change some shit while they actively bulldozing the shit. And what can happen if we go, you know, Trump not like Biden and them. You know, Biden, they'll just arrest you and, you know, it'll be the illusion of the court process and shit. Like Trump and them, they gonna be ordered to kill you. So, it's gonna be war, you know? But I think, again, just to go back to my point, change has always come about through blood. It's never come about fairly. But going back to the march and shit, yeah, I'm aware that's why I say there's multiple ways to skin a cat. I just don't agree with the march and shit. But I agree that there's multiple ways to skin a cat during the 60s and stuff like that, because it was so systematically, institutionally, and outwardly oppressive. It would have been in their best interest to do some peaceful marching. I'm aware of that. I'm not against that. All I'm saying is fuck peace. They've never offered peace. Fuck peace. So, being that we have been the minority, they say, in this country primarily, you know, what do we do to move forward? We're already doing it. You know, like you said, you were part of the 92% that voted for, and you know, most black men also voted for the shit too. You know, so I was kind of like an outlier in my culture, but I never went along with my culture. I never went along with nothing that I was told. But we already kind of doing it as far as trying to do it the right way and go about change the right way. You're already doing it. What I'm telling us now is, yeah, we boycotting shit, but we kind of like still giving our attention to the wrong shit. If we boycotting shit, we still watching NFL on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying most of us do.
Yeah.
We still going to YB concerts.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We still my point is we still going along with the get along. If we really want to boycott some shit, stop everything. Stop every fucking thing.
Stop going out to eat.
Stop going out to eat. Stop going everything. Stop going to the club. Stop going out to eat. Stop remove your kids from these schools. You know what I'm saying?
Stop going to the, well, I mean, I don't know if people can remove their kids from school so much, but stop going to the hair salons.
And you know why they can't remove the kids from the schools? Because legally, in public schools at least, they get paid off of every child being there. So they don't give a fuck about the education. They get paid off your kid being there. So yeah, but fuck their rules. You know what I mean? If they come try to do something about it, if we remove our kids, if we do it all collectively as a community, we police ourselves as a community. We feed ourselves as a community. You know what I'm saying? Fuck their rules. Fuck their laws. Fuck them. Fuck these people.
Stop paying taxes as a community. No
Stop paying
taxation without representation as a community.
So not taxation without representation is not a law. So or it's not a constitutional right. I've done some research in this. It's actually only just been a slogan. A constitutional amendment to make it some legislation to where the people have the right to not pay taxes and shit like that. There has been it only just got introduced to the Senate by Rand Paul, and I think in like 2021 or 2011, something like that. So it's not an actual constitutional right. So I've been saying that. I have to apologize to my viewers about that. It's not a constitutional right, but it is a good American slogan because America kind of like was founded off of that slogan. So yeah. So I completely agree with the sentiment though. These people don't represent my best interests. They don't represent me. They've never represented me, and they've never been peaceful with me. So that's why I'm saying fuck peace. They don't understand peace. They don't get it. And it's not just the people that are in power right now. The main reason that these people are in power right now is because of the silent white majority. But even then, Trump, he won. He didn't even win. Really, he won off of he didn't win the popular vote. So he won because he was elected by the Electoral College, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It was stolen. So
that's a stolen election, right? So, again, that's not fair. That's not equal. That's not representing me. That's not peaceful. You know what I'm saying? That's not. And I'm saying peaceful in relation to I tried to do it the right way, and even when I do it the right way, you still don't represent my voice, right? So since you don't represent my voice, you don't understand peace. And so since you're also destroying my White House, which my taxes paid money for, if I'm not mistaken as well, right? I didn't give him authorization to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But also if I'm not going up and marching and willing to die to make sure that he gets removed from my office, then I'm complacent as well. But I do know that I can do something, and that one man can make a difference. But also, I'm kind of like looking for my tribe in this shit.
He taking private donations off of building that ball. Now people are actually donating money towards it.
Good. I think all of this is good. I think it's good to know that that we live in such an evil, backwards place where we were supposed to be living in such a post-racial utopia. You know, where race doesn't matter and where everything is equal, and where you people have a fair fighting chance. You know. All right. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about that. Yeah, fuck peace. They don't understand peace.
I want to go back to when you were talking about the marching and stuff, and again, I agree with you. That don't get nothing done now. It worked back then. It don't get nothing done now. But I do want to harp on. I don't agree that the Million Man March should be thrown in there. It wasn't so much about changing things, but to show a face. This was coming right off of the crack epidemic, all that type of stuff. Homes being torn apart, families being torn apart, communities being torn apart. We need to show us ourselves, not just outsiders, but us ourselves, that our black men were still there and they were still willing to be there for their families, their community, and their homes. And they came out and they showed out and they brought their sons, they brought their fathers, they brought their cousins. So that Million Man March was something to see. As a black woman, it made me proud. And at that time, I was a young black woman, teenager going into adulthood, so that made me proud. And I saw the crack epidemic. I saw what it did to our community. So I'm gonna have to, on my personal opinion, pull that out of your statements in regards to marching. And we needed that at that time. We needed that.
Right on. And I can give you that. I mean, especially you got a historical perspective that I wasn't aware of. I was saying fuck it in general, as far as fuck marching. That's what I was saying. Fuck marching.
Yeah, I agree with
fuck
that.
asking. You know what I'm saying? But and with that historical preference, as far as just showing ourselves, yeah, for sure. The only thing I add to that, if we gonna do some shit like that anymore, fuck just showing up. Let's $1 million man march, $1 million as well, huh? Or $1 million. I mean, $1 million. I'm saying let's transfer the physical walking, or just the presence, and let's put that energy towards something unified, like a unified police force. A million people behind a unified police force that we police our whole country. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. I wasn't aware of that historical perspective before, so that's what's up. That's why it's good to talk to different generations, though. That's why it's also good to be educated on shit. I'm kind of like, I get my downloads and shit from the universe. Also from just talking to people like yourself. I like reading, but even when I read, I think you get kind of caught up in the author and the author's perspective. So it's like I don't really like reading too much no more. I used to love reading. I like reading. I don't like reading as much, man. I don't like too much of nothing no more. I don't trust people and their opinions. I rather experience the shit myself. So learning, this is how I learn. Like how you just taught me. You taught me that. I learned like that. So I appreciate that perspective. But yeah, we need to come together on a 1 million man police force where, just like for example, it's some situation going on in somewhere in Springfield, Illinois, where 2 white officers went into that lady's home and shot her. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that story. She called on the name of Jesus. And then he said that the reason he shot her is because he thought she was going to throw a pot of boiling water on her. So he shot her with a gun. Have you heard of that story?
Yeah, definitely. He shot her in the head.
Yeah, he killed her. I think people like him should be tortured. I think his house should be burned down. I think his family should be mailed different parts of his body parts, just like the same way they used to do my people. And for anybody thinking that sound harsh or that sound crazy, no. In war or just period, this has been done historically. This has been done to my people. Like if anybody's familiar with the gentleman Nat Turner with the slave revolts, when he was caught, different parts of his body parts was cut up and sent all over the country. So these people like to play like that. And that's how war is. They like to drink the blood out of skulls and shit. Like they're not people. You know what I'm saying? They're not humans.
Savage.
They're savages. So I think that people like him under like SOLARMAN for not to be the leader of the black people, but to be one of the voices of the black people. What I say is that people like him, fuck letting them go to court. I don't want him to have his day in trial. I don't think that's good enough. I think vengeance is served good. We bring him before the people. And we pray publicly in front of the people, and we ask God what we should do to him. And we go back to that. But I think we need to bring back public hangings, because I don't think people are afraid of nothing no more. The fact that he went in there and he pulled his gun on a woman with a pot just means that he don't respect black people, period. And I would piss on his grave, and I'd piss on his dead body too. And I would send pictures of it to his children, because they need to know who his father is, who their father was. He was a coward. And he was the worst parts of humanity, and he is holding back the evolution of humanity with his rhetoric, and the fact that she was in there by herself as well, dealing with 2 men in her home, just goes a lot to show you about the state of society that we're in as well. Why was she there alone? Where was her man at? Etc. We can talk about that, and how the black man and black woman we don't get along and shit. But people like him. People like that people like George Zimmerman, they wouldn't be allowed to breathe without being in constant worry or fear of their life at all times.
All right, don't talk about that black man and black woman relationship. I mean, we here now.
For sure. So it is at the lowest point that has ever been in society right now currently. So let's just talk about men and women. A man is going to recognize a woman, and a woman is going to recognize a man. What we're talking about is everything else in between. We're talking about boys and girls, black boys and black girls. Generally speaking, there's a consensus that there is not a respect of one another. Because the black woman right now, I don't know if you know, I'm pretty sure you do. You're part of that 92%. The black woman at this time is the highest degree earner at all ethnic groups. Y'all got the most college education. Y'all the most educated. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Which is cool. I don't disagree with that. But I think there's some nuances to that, to the reason why women get uplifted more than men. I think this goes all the way back to buck breaking, and goes all the way back to when we were in those slave quarters. A strong black man household could not be. They'll kill you, nigga, or they'll send you away, nigga, or they'll use you as a breeder, nigga, and then they'll send you away. Or they'll rape your girl in front of you, nigga. Or they'll make sure that they take your girl when she's good and right, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll castrate the man in front of the woman. Or they'll just do something to embarrass the man. So I know that we still grow up in a culture where, and the men, we're guilty of this as well. And it's through hip hop music where we've degenerated the black woman to where it's not really, you don't really grow up respecting black women the same way you respect other women. Like, now niggas, again, there's niggas that don't respect no women, period. So, I'm not talking about them. I'm just talking about generally speaking. That's why, like, black boys, they'll be more inclined to treat a black girl like a hoe and then treat another girl like a lady, just because, or another race will be more inclined to treat a black girl or think that a black woman is more hyposexual than another race. But that's just because of hip hop and fuck shit like that. But yeah, we're at the lowest point with boys and girls because of hip hop and fuck shit like that, and because of a lack of like, I'm noticing a lot more trends too. I'm not talking about men and women, because men and women don't do this. Men and women always recognize each other. I'm talking about boys and girls in between. I'm noticing a lot more trends where black girls telling other black girls to go date outside their race, and I'm noticing another trend with black dudes telling black dudes that just black women be bitching, and it's just a bunch of gender wars, and it's the gayest shit in the world on both sides. It's fucking gay, man. It's gay as fuck, and I don't respect it. I don't like it. I kind of hate that shit. Again, with me and being a voice of our people, one of the voices of our people, niggas that promote that shit, are we gonna come see about you, nigga? Because you're doing too much talking on the line. You're doing too much internet gossiping and fuck shit. Not to say that you don't have freedom of speech, but at least, again, we gonna come talk to you why you think the way you think, nigga. And my women, the real women in our parties, they gonna come talk to these. Those aren't women that are doing that. They're gonna come talk to them little girls that have this stupid ass mindset that's telling their own people to go against their own people. It's just it's backwards and it's disgusting. I'm disgusted by a lot of parts of my culture. And before I leave this planet, with my time on this planet, I will. One of the things that I'll have done with my life is put a spark in correcting that.
Hey, you are passionate about a lot of good things. So, man, I appreciate you coming in and talking to me. And again, we're going to have to expand some more on this interview. I definitely will be giving you a call some more because, again, as you talk, more questions come to mind that I want to ask you. That I want to pique my interest in a lot of things, and I appreciate your age group. And please don't take it as if I'm putting you down. You're just a younger generation than me, but I appreciate your mindset and that you're wanting to reach out to the younger masses in regards to think bigger and better and think outside the box instead of just thinking one-dimensional Let's go 4 dimensions. Let's go to the 5th dimension. Let's go out. You know. So yeah, I want to say I appreciate you on that.
Well, I appreciate you for having me. You a Dallas platform. I love Dallas. A lot of my family's from Dallas. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Yeah, but I appreciate you having me. But again, I gotta kind of answer the last part of your question. I mean, your statement with it's not even that I want to do this or that I want to be saying the words that I'm saying. There's a spirit in me speaking to you right now. There's a spirit in me that has been sparked that only cares about this. I don't care about nothing else, and I know that's not me. You know, I know that there's something greater working through me and speaking through me. I don't have it all together as far as, I'm not a savant in any topic. However, I know right and wrong, and I know truth. So the truth is that we've been lied to. The truth is that we're being led to a burning end on both sides. The truth is that none of this shit is really about race. It's really about higher principalities and wickedness and people doing witchcraft and debauchery on a large scale and controlling us in the way we think. It's called social engineering, controlling us in the way we think and the way that we express. That's the real enemy. These old ancient bloodlines that claim to have rights to this world, that claim to be the rightful rulers of this world. That's who the fuck we're coming up against. These special interest groups, BlackRock and shit like that. That's who we're coming up against. It's not race. That's the lowest tier of this shit. But they use race to distract us. And there's a lot of gatekeepers. There's a lot of gatekeepers in this race shit too. There's a lot of gatekeepers in this race shit too. That's why we gotta focus on race. Cause I don't want to talk about race. I don't want to care about an Anglo-Saxon. Cause that's a human too. Even though 90 Neanderthal and shit. But there's some good Neanderthals. There's some good. There's some good Anglo-Saxons. There's some good Caucasians. I don't want to focus on that shit. I want to focus on the higher principalities. But they don't afford me that because it's the crab in the barrel mentality is not just in your own community. It's society as a whole, because motherfuckers are looking at each other instead of looking out. And you need to be looking out. You know what I'm saying? You start by looking in first. That way you can look out and see what's really going on. So yeah, I don't want to do this. I don't want to focus on this. All I want to do is dance with my shirt off and play basketball all day. And talk to God all day and be with my woman all day. That's all I want to do. And be in the yard all day planting and gardening and smoke me some weed. That's all I want to do, But there's something that's been awakened in me that I can't ignore. I can't not talk about this. That's all I want to talk about. That's all I can do. And I've truly found something to live for. So I appreciate you having me. And yeah, we can run it back anytime. It don't matter.
All right, already.
Right on.